Hey, how you doing? My name's Julie Shelton, and today I'm going to be your guide as we discover the creative spark in you and fill your cup. These past few months have been crazy, wouldn't you say? Many late night hours, working on videos, tutorials, setting up your remote online classroom, taking care of your kids in the room and the kids in line. And I know for me, I'm feeling a little burnt out. It's time to rejuvenate. So today, that's what we're gonna do. I hope you have some type of art journal, drawing utensil, anything you can be creative with while you're at home today. And today we're gonna help you discover that creative spark. 5 things to do to spark creativity. I know for me, the huge culprit that sucks away my creativity is time. Lack of time. Feeling like I don't have time to create. I've got to wash my dishes and grade my papers and work on my remote lessons. So what can we do to spark some creativity with our limited amount of time? Number 1, let go. Cut yourself off from technology. Put on those lenses to see the world in a new way around you. Notice the little things. And you can use your camera, like I use my phone, to take pictures of magnolia, buds, and insects and different things so I can draw them later. But put on those lenses of seeing the world in a whole new way. Because with our phones, we tend to get distracted and we default to our phones when we are bored instead of using our imaginations and really soaking up the world around us. One of my big philosophies is opening your eyes, and this is a way that I feel like I've sparked my creativity more in my life, is by really looking and opening my eyes, looking around me and seeing things everywhere that I could create with. And every time I see something, I'm having new ideas, and I call it the creative spark. I'm sparking, seeing different things that I could put in my journal, here, there, and everywhere. So this is a story where I was walking and I saw a fire hydrant, and there was a proof sticker, that sticker with the bird you see over there on the right. And I saw the sticker there, and I thought, I have to have this for my visual art journal. So I peeled it off, my kids were with me, and I put it in my journal. And then it was like destiny. I went to IKEA, and there on the shopping cart terminal was the same sticker. And this was in Utah. That fire hydrant was in Meridian, Idaho. And I had to peel it off, and I put it into another page in my journal, into another journal that I have. And when I walked into IKEA, lo and behold, what do they have? These amazing measuring tapes. And I just felt so excited thinking about, ooh, what can I do with this? What creative thing could I do with this inside of my visual art journal? I was in Rexburg, and we had bingo night, and there were like 300 people there playing bingo, and I thought, what if I asked everyone to give me their bingo cards? And I did, and they gave them to me. My sister was in charge of the bingo night, and it was awesome. I felt so rich. I'm rich. Then, on the Domino's pizza box, there was a really cool graphic. I used that for my artwork. And then when I went to Buffalo Wild Wings for a date with my husband, I was blown away by their napkins. Especially this one. It says, brush it off. I love, love, love this napkin. And I asked the lady, I'm like, your napkins are amazing, our waitress. Can you give me more napkins? So what I did was I took this napkin, and then I put packaging tape on top of it. I created a packaging tape transfer. And I lifted the ink off of the napkin, and then I put that text into my journal. So looking around, seeing things that maybe it was a napkin. When would we notice? Keeping my phone away, I took my journal to the playground last spring, and I decided I'm going to draw the fire hydrant while I wait for my kids to come out of school. Number 2, be inspired. So if you're strapped for time and you really don't have time to make amazing artwork or compositions in an art journal or a sketchbook, I just love to go through magazines. Real Simple's a fun magazine because they have some really artistic, compositionally, like really well designed layouts and shots and photographs. But go through the magazines and discover amazing things.
What, like these kind of shapes are kind of interesting. Maybe I can cut these out and put them into my journal. Here's a quote, right? I also look at advertisements. Okay, this one, precision matters. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, maybe I'll take that. Right, and I take it. Okay, so I'm looking for text. I'm looking for interesting images that I can use to create packaging tape transfers from. Right? Okay, these are batteries. That might be interesting. Maybe talking about how, you feel like you're an energizer battery in life. Right? Bright ideas. Cut that out. Okay.
Number 2, again, be inspired. So look around in your local community, see what art is available. This was in Utah. This is at BYU Provo. This was when at the exhibit where MC Escher's work was being shown and Nina Kachadorian's work. And it was really super exciting because I'd been studying both of those artists to see their work in person. Last fall, my colleague and friend Kristen Mao invited me to join her as we toured the Bosco Open Studios. And I got to see Julie Clement's studio and Kay Surratt and Lisa Cheney, who's an amazing visual journal artist. And my mentor and friend Jerry Hendershaw, I got to see his studio. It was really exciting to see all these local artists and to be inspired by them. For the past 3 years, I've been teaching professional development courses to teachers throughout the Treasure Valley, and I just felt like, and Idaho, and I just desired to have some art experiences of my own and to go to a class. And my sister Ashley invited me to join her as the artist Missy Terry in Utah did an oil painting workshop, and I loved it. It was really fun, and I hadn't oil painted for 18 years, and she fed us a gourmet lunch, and I loved seeing all the different kind of portrayals or different the way that each artist captured the lemons in front of them. So my paint palette was my inspiration, and there's my painting. And then I created a journal spread inspired by that experience. Some of these were notes that I took while I was there at the workshop, and then some I added later. Because I went to Bosco, I discovered that Lisa Cheney taught workshops, and I decided, you know what? Again, February was my month to shine, and the next weekend I went to Lisa Cheney's drawing workshop, and I really enjoyed learning from her and learning about new tools and drawing materials and different drawing exercises. That was a really awesome experience. Number 3, connect. One of the most powerful ways that I've been able to grow creatively and artistically is by interacting with my colleagues, other art teachers and artists throughout the Treasure Valley through different courses ones that I've taught and ones that I've taken. Fish and Game has offered a lot of interesting classes that I've taken and just modified them to make them art. But if you're like, I don't have time for that, then I encourage you to find a friend. Just like going to the gym, bring a friend. You know, there's benefits of working out with a friend. You're more likely to be more successful by being consistent if you have a friend. The same goes for being creative. So this summer I had a lot of fun inviting a few friends out to my back porch to create. So here, this is the amazing Monica Bright creating with me. You can see there's that fire hydrant that I was working on. That's watercolor crayon. And then my wonderful colleagues and best friends, Krista Rogerson and Melissa Stevenson. We got to create together on my back porch. So surround yourself, try to find someone to create with and to inspire you, and that will give you some good motivation. Number 4, experiment. As we begin to discover and kind of look at different ways to be experimenting with different mediums, I just want to say one thing. You do you. So again, if your time is limited and you are strapped and all you have time for is to do some crafting or scrapbooking, hey, as long as you're doing something creative. So this is a slide showing, this is a 7 gypsy tray. A few years ago, I had to go back to work at night, and I worked at Archiver's scrapbooking store, and I learned a lot of interesting, great tools, and my eyes were opened to the wonders of the crafting world. And this tray, I make little cards, and they have brads, and I design each little one, and I have them all for all the different holidays, and it has different quotes, and there's photographs of my family, and I switch them out every month. And at times, that is fulfilling to me. That is creative for me when I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed. So that's when I say Picasso, schmasso. So if you don't have to create amazing works of art to be an artistic, creative person. So I'm going to take you on a ride and show you some different backgrounds that I've created. So when you're beginning to wanting to explore and maybe work in your sketchbook or your visual art journal, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that is the background. What are you going to build your composition on the page? Now, if you're tired and you're stressed and you don't have the brain power to do compositions, that's okay. Do backgrounds. Just create.
All right, I want to show you guys a book that I started working on last year. It's a repurposed book. So I just wanted to walk you through and show you. So I have my cover. I tell my students and myself, I got to take ownership of this journal. And then I make a kind of a welcoming a space where I kind of introduce my book. I put here, The Dimension Beyond. Okay, you can see. So why I'm showing you this is because I wanted to show you how all the different backgrounds that I have, from watercolor to phone book page to watercolor spray with stamps. Notice this little window. Okay, and then I did a lot of packaging tape transfers, which more spray paint with doilies, shaving cream printing. So when I'm struggling with creativity, sometimes I just feel like I have an attention deficit problem. I mean, I'm sure I do. We all do, right? We live in a society where we get quick fixes and Amazon deliveries the next day, or even that same day. So when I'm struggling because I don't have that mental power and I'm running out of time, creating backgrounds is a fun way to be creative to get those creative juices flowing without kind of expending a lot of energy in designing and layout and kind of problem solving. So each of these becomes like a problem to be solved, like a
tip. Document all that you do. I encourage my students, the teachers that I have worked with, my colleagues, and myself to document and take pictures of each of the different stages of your works of art. It's fascinating to watch them grow and change, and it's also a great way to kind of analyze and study how you might want to take your composition, which direction you want to go. So one kind of simple background that you could do is just draw different shapes. Draw a page full of straight lines. Draw how many, like a page of circles. Like, how are you going to approach this? I did this with students, and it was fascinating to watch all the different ways they solved this problem. They drew each shape page when line page was different and unique. So when you're doing those journal pages, if you're working in the journal, you want to fill the whole space. And then here I added some watercolor spray on top. And then my colleague and friend, Krista Rogerson, she inspired me to draw more regularly and just grab some copy paper and put it in your purse or in your backpack and take it with you. You don't have to have a fancy sketchbook. You don't have to take your visual journal everywhere you go. I know that's kind of what's encouraged, but sometimes I don't want to. I don't have, again, the brain power or the time, or maybe I don't want it to get ruined, or maybe it doesn't fit. So just take some copy paper and a pen, and then you can draw and doodle wherever you are, and then you can always cut them out and put them on your compositions later. So in closing, creativity can solve almost any problem. The creative act, the defeat of habit by originality, overcomes everything. By George Lewis. Ignite the creative spark. Everybody do something creative today. Thank you for listening.